We next turn to a look at the elements and molecules of living systems. It turns out that there are a small number of elements that are required for all known forms of life. In addition to those 15 or so elements, there are some elements that are required for some life forms, but not others. An example of this would be vanadium, which is required by the human, but not for many other species. Figure 1.4 is a visual representation of the elements that are most important, arranged in tiers. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen make up 99% of the mass of most cells. The other 1% of cells is composed of the bulk elements phosphorus and sulfur. There are also trace elements which I characterize slightly differently than figure 1.4 of your book. I would break these trace elements into fixed charge ions, most notably magnesium, sodium, potassium, calcium, and chloride, as well as variably charged metal ions, including iron, zinc, manganese, cobalt, and copper. Recall from freshman chemistry that iron can be either a +2 or a +3 oxidation state, whereas copper can be either +2 or a +1 oxidation state. These elements make up biomolecules. There are 4 major classes of molecules: carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, and lipids. We will talk about each of these classes of molecules in depth in subsequent chapters, but for right now I want to point out that the monosaccharide form of these molecules are used to create larger structures. For example, a carbohydrate example, cellulose is a polysaccharide of the monosaccharide glucose. There are 20 different standard amino acids which can be arranged in a plethora of ways, such that we can make about 5 million different proteins in a typical organism. A total of around 1,000 nucleic acids can be built using 5 different nucleotides, though only 4 will be found in any particular nucleic acid. This would be A, C, T, and G in the case of DNA, and A, C, U, and G in the case of RNA. Finally, the molecule form of a lipid is a fatty acid. Lipids do not form polymers as carbohydrates, proteins, and nucleic acids do. Instead, they form complexes known as phospholipids and triglycerides.